This is a top 10 video on the top 10.
Top 10 video on top 10s? Wouldn't that make it like top 100? Or am I just overthinking it? But to be fair, one of us has to do some amount of thinking, because this is, of course, Hans Wormhat, and he's about to say something completely bonkers.
Characters in disguise on the world stage.
Characters in disguise on the world stage? What the hell does that even mean? Well, I suppose if we were to look at what he's got on the old phone screen, I would surmise that he thinks that actors are not one person, but multiple people. Perhaps even pretending to be a shit ton of people, as brushed upon in the last video we did with Hans. And well, you never do fail to disappoint me, buddy. I mean, I'm 100% sure you disappoint a load of other people in your life, but that's mostly because they would prefer it if you didn't believe such ridiculous bullshit.
And this is a really good topic. A lot of people wake up to how fake everything on the TV and in the media is.
What? Everybody knows that TV isn't real life, my dude, because they tend to compare it to real life and think, oh, those aren't the same things. Although you are taking the whole idea to a new ridiculous level where apparently there's about 5 people across the planet pretending to be the tens of thousands of famouses for some unknown, probably incredibly stupid reason. And that's not to mention that these days TV is barely relevant anymore, so it's not like it matters what the hell they do anyway.
Through this topic in particular, it's one that a lot of people can see for the first time.
See what exactly? I mean, to actually analyse your screenie, it's that Alex Jones is not who he says he is. Why? What possible benefit could that be exactly? I mean, like, seriously, even if that were the case, who gives a shit? And how does that mean that all celebrities are not specifically who they say they are? Because sure, some people do fake their deaths, but that's usually to disappear, not to come back with the same, or well, similar face, somehow being 10 years younger to boot, and becoming extremely famous for being a total dumbass. And that's to not even start with the fact that it's Alex Jones, who would be all over his own conspiracy if it were true. That man does love to be the centre of attention, even if it is for really dumb or really damaging reasons.
Just the first conspiracy for a lot of people that really clicks. And
is it? I literally can't think of anyone touting this one. In fact, the video where you brought it up is the first time I ever heard it, and I hear a lot of conspiracy theories. If I were to guess at ones that click with people, it's anything where there is some sort of societal expectation put on them, like vaccines. It seems people would rather believe that something is a grand conspiracy than actually learn a goddamn thing about science. I mean, seriously, all those doctors you have had to see through your life that have spent all those years and countless hours keeping your dumbass alive from all the stupid shit you pull, yeah, no, they're actually trying to fucking kill you. Morons.
Makes a lot of other stuff click too.
I mean, it really doesn't. Like, seriously, I don't understand what the point is. Let's just say that you are right and everyone I have ever enjoyed isn't who I think they are. How does that change anything? All it really does is make me think, holy shit, these must be the hardest working motherfuckers on the planet. Because they're either working non-stop being different people or being multiple different ones with completely different skills and opinions and having to keep those characters on point to who we see them as basically constantly. Man, I can barely keep my backstory consistent, and I'm a sentient cheese wheel.
And so I'm just going to dive straight into it. I want to
dive straight into it, and then silence. And what are you going to give us? A fucking break? Because that would be nice, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, that would make you Barnabas Nash, and we all know you two aren't the same person. Or are you? No, of course not. Just because two people have a similarity, it doesn't make them the same person. You know, the opposite of what Hans seems to think. Although, to be fair, it is also probably what Barmy Bus thinks as well, so
there's going to be more than 10, so anything beyond 10 is just a bonus. I want to give my top 10.
Your top 10 isn't a top 10, but actually way, way, way more. That's unsurprising, because honestly, I would be surprised if you could count past 10, Hans, me old mate. In fact, I'm almost impressed that you can even go that high. Look at this motherfucker, graduating day 1 from kindergarten and everything.
Examples of people on the world stage who are just another person, another character.
Can't wait to find out, and that it not be two famous people who kinda look alike. I mean, for fuck's sake, you humans, you are all fucking identical to me anyway, and I struggle to tell you apart from rats as it is. So a few people looking kinda similar to each other is hardly fucking surprising now, is it?
And who knows who these people are really at the end of the day?
Why does it matter? I mean, seriously, from my own experience as a handsome, famous and good at the sex person, people ask me all sorts of shit about who I am and what I do and the things I believe about irrelevant shit. And while I don't mind for the most part, it doesn't change what I do and whether or not you find that entertaining. And knowing things about me doesn't make us friends. We aren't personally acquainted. So it's not like if I turned out not to be who you thought I was, it really shouldn't matter. Speaking of that, no, I'm not Noel Fielding. I have never been on Peep Show. And no, Mrs. Sick isn't Philomena fucking Kunk. Mrs. Sick is actually funny.
If somebody is famous and they have a name, it's really hard to know if that's a real person or if it's a character being played by somebody. And then
it's a bit of both, my dude. This isn't a fucking conspiracy. This is the reality of being known publicly. It's called having a fucking private life. That doesn't mean they are literally someone else. It means that when they're on, performing, they aren't the same as when they're chilling out at home watching Netflix in their underpants. What the fuck do you actually expect? That rock stars are just constantly playing music and then burning guitars or some other shit? Sometimes they're just in the bath or just having a quiet moment and they're allowed to do that without some idiot saying, "I done never seen you have a wash before. You am not who I thought you am. You fucking buffoon." I mean, are you exactly the same in real life as you are in your videos? Because that's fucking horrifying if I'm completely honest.
That character will play a dozen different parts.
Why? Why would they do that? While being a proper famouser is probably a pretty decent gig for the most part, I don't think any of them, even the ones who absolutely love doing whatever thing made them famous, would want to have to live the fake lives of a dozen fucking people. That would be completely insane and so unnecessary. Like, we have way more celebrities than we really need, especially the famous for being famous types. If anything, making more by faking them would be the opposite of what anyone could possibly want or need.
And I think it's almost self-evident when you consider the idea.
It's self-evident that there's one person for every 12 famouses playing them. No, I really don't think that is self-evident, unless you mean it's self-evidently fucking ludicrous, because it is certainly that. The very notion that these aren't people is honestly kind of fucking insulting. It's like if someone gets famous, they cease to be human beings in your eyes that have lives where they aren't constantly doing famous person stuff. It's just not something you could even consider. They are all only there for your entertainment. And I'm not into celebrities, I'm not trying to defend them, but I'm at least not going to start making up shit about how they're tricking us for no logical reason so I can pretend that they're lizard people and that my life isn't completely worthless by comparison. At least that's probably how he thinks about it. But dude, you are perfectly capable of doing a lot of the same shit. All you have to do is be able to do something. That or be extremely fucking stupid. And in that regard, you are over goddamn qualified to the nth degree.
Yeah, of course an actor would love to have these alter egos and get people to believe in the character. And of course an actor would want you to believe that their persona is like a real thing and not a character that they're putting on.
Would they? Really? How do you know? I think as with most jobs, they probably would not want to take that shit home with them, and certainly not take it out and about to the shops or to the park or a million other places where they would simply rather not be noticed. Again, this concept is completely obliterated by the simple fact that literally ain't nobody got time for any of this shit, let alone multiple times over. And that's before you even consider there's literally not enough hours in the day.
And even it gets into the logistics. Of course, it's easier to pay one actor to be 20 different people, and then you don't have to pay 20 different salaries.
No, it fucking isn't, you colossal melt. What is wrong with you? What do you think, Hollywood is just all that Nutty Professor film where Eddie Murphy played all the characters? You know, that was kind of a big deal because it was difficult. Also, while it's not always the case, when it comes to massive celebs, nothing is cheaper about hiring them. These people have unbelievable salaries. You think that they aren't going to demand way fucking more when the entire production hinges on them playing all of the characters? You know, it's almost like you know nothing about anything and haven't spent a single second actually thinking about this shit.
Let's just get into it.
Well, I thought we were getting into it ages ago, but okay, cool, let's go. I always wanted to know which of my favourite celebrities is actually 17 hamsters in a person suit pretending to be a different person entirely. It's so obvious when you think about it, really.
The conspiracy theory. Let's start with the conspiracy theorist, who is clearly somebody else who existed before and faked their death. These people very often fake their death.
Clearly, because he looks a bit like someone else. Cool. So, really, let's think about this. I mean, if it is the same guy, they were, of course, the same height, right? Oh, wait, Alex is 7 centimeters shorter. But bear in mind, people do get shorter as they age. Except, oh no, it's like 1 inch over 40 years. And 7 centimeters is closer to 3 inches. And oh no, this whole thing is just falling apart after 2 fucking seconds of looking into it. What a surprise.
It's a way for them to retire a character.
Or, get this right, there's this conspiracy that I've heard. When someone dies, they stay dead. It's wild, I know. They have been hiding this from us for years, that we aren't all gonna live forever, but instead, we'll just be gone. I don't really believe it myself. I mean, I'm far too important to die, but it's kind of scary to think of.
And that's, of course, that Alex Jones is really Bill Hicks.
Yes, thank you. We can read. Oh, right. Of course, your audience, you had to actually spell it out for them because reading clearly isn't those guys' forte. I mean, it involves learning how to words and then you have to understand them and it's a whole ordeal. Much better to have random idiots explain reality to you than to ever read anything about how the world works. That would be stupid.
And yeah, a lot of times these people, they'll have tragic deaths, but then they can just pop up later as a new character.
The funniest thing is, we have video of Jones from the same kind of time period, and they don't look the same. In fact, Jones looks decidedly younger, almost like Hicks was 10 years his fucking senior, 'cause he was. And that's the thing, he didn't just pop up later. You just heard about him later and decided that must have been when he came into existence. But no, the man is an individual with a life that happened before you just so happened to hear about him. Seriously, you have the object permanence of a fucking toddler. Things just don't exist until you've heard of them. But you being you, of course, that's not even a given for existing. Everything is fake until it's had the Hans Wormhat lick test seal of approval. Tastes like fucking moron.
And I already said it, very often a tragic death is not really a death, it's somebody retiring.
Yes, you did, but, and let me stop you right there, you don't get to say shit like that unless you can prove it. Because while I'm not one of those don't speak ill of the dead types, that only goes so far as to not making shit up about them. That is extremely disrespectful, and to say someone's death is fake because some guy looks at them is just all kinds of fucked up.
Or they're just moving on to a new character. You hear a lot when you first, like, very surface level, oh, look at all the celebrities throwing satanic hand signs around.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head right there, didn't you? Not the throwing satanic hand gestures thing. Apart from the fact that anything like the horns, that's very common, and most people, it just means rock and roll. But also, so many of them will likely be freeze frames on something that kinda looks like the wrong thing, and it's just so pointless. But you're right about it being surface level, because even if it's intentional, it doesn't actually mean anything. More so because Satan doesn't fucking real than anything else.
Oh, look at them all doing the music videos with the bathtubs and, oh, man, what's going on?
Okay. What is going on? Like, seriously, what the fuck are you talking about? Bathtubs. Bathtubs mean people are faking who they are and pretending to be dozens of people at the same time, or faking their deaths? Like, I looked up celebrities in bathtubs and, yep, that's pretty much what I expected to see. Celebrities in bathtubs. Well, that proves it. Celebrities take baths. Hail Satan, etc.
A lot of people sell this false, they're sacrificing people left and right in Hollywood.
I mean, that's kind of true, just not in a literal murder sense. But yeah, people get fucked over all the time in Hollywood. Okay, is that how they have the energy to play 37 people at the same time? I feel like it would be easier to just have 37 different people, all with jobs. I don't know. But all this, it's kind of starting to sound just a little bit extremely fucking stupid.
If you want to be famous, somebody in your family has to be sacrificed.
Come on, Hans. That should be so easy to figure out if it's true. It should be so easy to find out about. Does every famous person, upon achieving fame, lose a family member? No, I can guarantee that doesn't fucking happen. So that must be bullshit. So maybe you shouldn't believe every goddamn thing you hear on the fucking internet. Especially if it seems, completely insane. But for some reason with you, the more back crap sack punchingly crazy it is, the more likely you are to believe it, not less.
Anything that comes off as like a spook story or make these people out to be anything other than clowns, I don't really believe in.
Well, of course you believe stories where everyone sounds like clowns. It's finally something that you can relate to. Fuck me.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the